Sage, good to go? Sage? Sage?
Sage has disappeared.
My favorite punching bag is game, which is why I devised a punishment that is both cruel and unusual.
Sage has disappeared.
Yes! I'm just a diva. Please don't hurt me. Randy Orton came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I'd like to order an extra large cheese pizza. Wait. 2 extra large cheese pizzas. My name? Bennett T. Sage.
Can't you hear it? Someone...
Hey, Sage! I'm watching your secret hentai. You better come out and pound me.
All of you... me...
Not like that.
She's lost her mind.
Sage! Sage! Where am I?
You're in hell, Sage.
New Jersey? Oh, for the love of... Oh! Hey! Long time no see.
Yes. Too long.
So you got me at a disadvantage here. Don't suppose you'd let me go, would you?
No. No, I wouldn't.
Well, would you scratch my nose at least? Got this really irritating little... Oh! Okay. I get that you're angry.
Angry? No, Sage. I'm way past angry. You see, over the past few months, I've been experiencing, how would you call it? Violent fits of uncontrollable rage? Is that it?
Yeah, I think that sounds
Think so?
appropriate.
Yeah. Well, do you know why I've been experiencing violent fits of uncontrollable rage? Do you?
I'm gonna hazard a guess and say it's because of me.
That's right, bucko.
What did I do?
Oh, let's see. Goading me into heavy Chicago traffic, tricking my brother into constantly quoting Dune.
So because I trolled you a little, you drugged and kidnapped me. To do what exactly?
I think you would have gotten it by now, Sage. What else would we be doing?
Okay, what are we reviewing?
Oh, just a little movie from 2008.
2008? I don't do 2008.
Well, 2008 is gonna do you. And it's gonna do you hard.
What, really?
Yeah, really. But you've never seen this before?
No, I have. It's just
What?
It's just not terrible.
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic guy. Remember it so you don't have to.
And I'm Sage.
It must be hard to follow up a cultural touchstone. The Wachowskis were on top of the world by the early 2000s, having made a trilogy of films that changed sci-fi forever. Maybe not for the better, but they changed it all the same.
While the Matrix trilogy ended on a pretentious and overwrought note, the Wachowskis still had enough clout to pretty much have carte blanche on whatever project that suited their fancy, including penning the script to V for Vendetta, which I'm surprised you haven't reviewed yet.
Patience, my love. Patience. Still, a whole 5 years went by without the, well, now sisters, having directed anything. What would be their triumphant return to prestige and relevancy? Why, it's none other than the bleeding eyesore Speed Racer. A film that dares to ask, how fast can we make the audience go blind? Speed Racer is the kind of movie that doesn't even feel like it was made. It had to be summoned from the deepest, darkest pits of CGI hell. Okay, second deepest.
While Speed Racer does fail in a number of aspects...
All aspects!
I'm saying that it just deserves your disdain, not this pure vitriol of yours.
Okay, did you crack your head when you were in my trunk? Because I don't think chloroform should make you this delusional.
And you know that how?
Sometimes Malcolm gets a little mouthy and needs a little nap.
Why does anyone work for you?
This is Speed Racer. We begin with a flashback that tells us all about how a kid named Speed Racer is really into racing. Yeah, who would have thought?
Your son seems to be interested in only one thing. All he talks about, all he seems capable of thinking about,
Is your gigantic rack.
is automobile racing.
Oh, automobile racing. Yes, of course, that too.
Yep, that's Susan Sarandon playing Speed Racer's mom, who's about to learn something very harsh about her son.
Is your husband's name Rex?
No, that's his older brother, Rex. Why?
This is the test he turned in last week.
That's right, your son's an idiot. And Sarandon's expression pretty much says it all. Yeah, he is.
But the school bell rings and Speed is off like a shot to get picked up by his older brother, Rex. And by God, what the hell kind of world are they living in? It's like if the Leave It to Beaver neighborhood was rendered by the guys behind Jimmy Neutron. Actually, why are the backgrounds all CG?
Well, it is based off an anime.
But why do you even have real actors? Why don't you just make them CG if everything else is CG? It's not like Who Framed Roger Rabbit where Eddie looking out of place in Toontown was all part of the joke. Everyone here is treating the world like it always looked like if Dr. Seuss just gave up.
Granted, if it was all CG, it'd definitely be less jarring, but I think it looks alright when you realize it's supposed to be a cartoon. As far as why there's actual actors instead of CG characters, I think it's because the Wachowskis wanted to see what they could do and achieve by blending the two, and maybe also prove that an anime adaptation could be made.
What are you talking about?
Look, there's been a ton of anime-based adaptations that have been stuck in development hell for God knows how long because everyone and their mother has been scared to actually pull the trigger. James Cameron has been battling for over a decade to get a Battle Angel Alita film made, and Ghost in the Shell took 7 years before principal photography even began. Cowboy Bebop has certainly been milled around too, and Akira is infamous for being greenlit, only to have production stop 4 different times. And don't even get me started on Robotech.
I wasn't, actually.
The point is that Speed Racer is the first real big-budget Hollywood adaptation of an anime that was made, and it was supposed to be a gateway for future movies to be released.
So you're saying that because of Speed Racer, we got Dragon Ball Evolution and Astro Boy?
Well, Astro Boy was fine. Ish.
We got back to the present day, I think, as the now fully grown Speed Racer, played by Emil Hirsch, suits up and begins the race. And if the CGI looked bad before, it literally hurts to look at now. The colors are garishly bright. The camera jitters around like a 5-year-old who has to go pee, and it just won't stop!
Great move, Speed!
So, Speed turned his vehicle, sideswiped the other guy's car, causing him to crash, turn into a crunchberry, and bounce off.
Hey, how else are we supposed to know he survived that horrific car crash if he didn't have that magic force field bubble? Wait, no! He didn't die in a flaming chasm of gasoline and carnage! See? He magically bounced off like it was fucking Kirby's Dreamland! Alright, in all seriousness, I'm more on your side than not, as a lot is happening at once, and since all the colors are blending together, it makes it that much more difficult to differentiate objects in the frame. Compounding matters is that the speed by which everything is moving at is dictating the editing, which is relentlessly quick. It's an exhausting set, which is kind of the point. I mean, it is a white-knuckle race after all.
I get that, but it doesn't mean it has to be so incredibly painful to sit through. I can barely keep my eyes on the screen without wishing I had some aspirin on hand. I don't care what the intent was. Watching this movie shouldn't hurt.
Well, yeah, I guess on the whole, I agree with you.
Thank you. I'm still not scratching your nose.
Come on! While Speed is tearing shit up, everyone is wondering if he'll manage to beat his brother Rex's time, including his family.
Jeepers, he could do it, Pops. He could really do it. What if he does it? What if he does it, Pops? I don't know if I can watch this.
Sage, what the hell is a chimp doing in this movie?
Oh, that's Chim Chim.
How the hell is that an answer?
It was the 60s, okay? Teenage paranormal detectives had a talking Great Dane, boys accompanied their scientist fathers on expeditions around the world, and race car drivers had a goddamn chimpanzee. That's just the way things were.
Yeah, in a cartoon, seeing a chimp interact with humans is alright, but in real life, it's just so weird and out of place.
In a movie where people race around Rainbow Road at half the speed of light.
Fucking yes! You're trying to get invested in the story, jumbled and erratic as it's being told right now, and then all of a sudden, BAM! Chimp! No explanation of where he came from or why everyone around it doesn't seem to realize that's a goddamn chimpanzee! And the hell of it is, there's no reason for him to be there except he was in the cartoon!
Alright, as far as primates in films are concerned, you could do a whole lot worse than fucking Speed Racer.
Like Dunstan checks in.
No, try going bananas.
You've seen way too many movies, Sage. That's America's uncle, John Goodman, playing Speed's dad, and America's creepy cousin, Christina Ricci, playing Trixie, who apparently has had quite a crush on Speed ever since they were kids. Which means we get another flashback.
There's a Speed Racer. My daddy told me that his daddy used to work for the Machida Motorworks, but he quit. My daddy told me that it was a completely crazy thing to do. He says the whole family is crazy. Speed's not crazy. No, he's just dumb.
Okay, seriously, a cartoon cutout bully too? Is this turning into a Stephen King movie? And what's with this actress's weird performance? She keeps looking over her shoulder, like she's reading her cues. Or maybe she's just looking at her parents to make sure it's okay to say this line.
Mrs. Woodstock suddenly alphabetized the IRBTs, and you would believe what the retard did.
You know, if you're uncomfortable with the line that you try to distort in post, maybe you shouldn't have written it at all.
Well, after that completely necessary diversion, we crash through a 5-mile thick wall that is our exposition. Seems that Speed's brother Rex sold out and started working for a dirty company and intentionally causing crashes. But some say he's actually a double agent and he's just bringing evidence to light of the corruption in racing, but then he died in a racing accident and...
Wait a minute! Wasn't this supposed to be a kid's movie? What's a kid gonna care about the politics of racing?
Well, it was part of the show, but... I agree that the plot is a real mess. There's too much happening in such a short amount of time that no one in the audience can get their footing in the story, much less a kid. I also agree that the way the movie dumps all of this background info on us is lazy at best, especially since it's all coming from these disparate announcers that are telling us all of this in apropos of nothing going on. But hey, at least one of them is being played by the original voice actor of Speed Racer, Peter Fernandez.
Okay, well that is cool and everything. I'm more annoyed by the fact that they keep doing this bullshit side wipe that's just visually obnoxious. How would you like it if every time we cut back to us we use this?
This ain't a race. Yeah. This is a showdown.
Irritating, isn't it?
In any case, Speed finishes the race, but intentionally slows down so as to not beat his brother's record. We cut to the next day as Speed's little brother, Spritle, yes, Spritle, and Chin Chim play act like they're in the terribly animated show they're watching.
Get it? Because the movie's based on the anime.
Well, to be fair, if they weren't doing that, they'd be doing nothing. The Racer family's breakfast is interrupted by the not at all evil businessman E.P. Arnold Royalton, played by longtime actor of the British theater, Roger Allam. Actually, a bit of a fun fact here, Allam played Inspector Javert in the original West End production of Les Miserables.
And he's easily the best part of the movie. He just owns every scene he's in. He also has a voice that sounds like if Tim Curry did an impression of Stephen Fry. Go ahead, try and tell me you don't get the weirdest boner when you hear him speak.
A figure like mine requires constant attention, Mrs. Racer.
And do you like pancakes?
When I was a child, we used to say, Pannkuchen sind Liebchen. Pancakes are love.
Pancakes are love.
Pancakes are life. So Royalton, attempting to sweet-talk the racers into partnering with his company, whisks the family to his corporate headquarters, which looks like if Willy Wonka owned General Motors. When suddenly we cut to a James Bond film? Like, literally, we just cut to this guy we've never seen before, who was never in the anime, and whose presence in the plot is the most baffling thing about the story. One of the most.
Just as you begin to wonder where in the hell this guy managed to get a Flintstone slab of meat like that, Rex Racer, Racer X, arrives to wreck their shit. Yeah, this whole scene was taking place in an 18-wheeler. Go figure.
Baby! Put your finger in there! Do it! This is nice. This is nice.
A family picture!
So Racer X saves, this guy, who is important for reasons, and then we cut back to the plot where Speed finally tells Royalton, after a long, overwrought speech, that there will be no deal. But that's when Royalton verbally slaps the shit out of him.
You poor naive chump. Now I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that load of sickening schmaltz, and I'm going to give you a bit of an education. At the end of it, if you're smart, you'll thank me, and then you'll sign that contract.
You see, this is what I'm talking about! Even when he's forced to speak economic gibberish, Roger Allam just acts circles around the entire set. I can listen to him recite the dictionary for crying out loud. But then the movie pulls this bullshit.
That's what racing is about. It has nothing to do with cars or drivers. All that matters is power and the unassailable might of money.
Okay, let me be clear. This isn't tonal whiplash. This is tonal homicide. Were the Wachowskis intentionally sabotaging their movie? They write a scene where Allam has to recite a long monologue about buyouts and complicated business ventures, and despite that, he gives an involving and brilliant performance, considering what he had to work with. So, what do? Smash cut to that little Spritle shit and Chim Chim aping shit all over the place. Did they really think this scene was too boring for kids, so they decided to interrupt it with this bullshit? Well, if that's true, then why did they write it in the first fucking place? Go ahead, Sage. Try to tell me this isn't fucking shit!
Yeah, it's fucking terrible.
Yeah! There's still half a movie to go, numbnuts!
Despite hearing all the dirty secrets of the racing world, Speed still rejects Royalton. So he vows to destroy his racing career and family, which he does by hiring a racer to make him crash and orchestrating a lawsuit against his family's company.
Soon after that, there'll be litigation against some of your father's designs.
Are you Pops Racer?
Wait. His name is Pops Racer? Like, that's his real name?
Yeah, him and Mom Racer.
So let me get this straight. You're telling me that two different sets of parents had two different sets of kids, named them Mom and Pops, and then they both grew up and married each other to actually become Mom and Pops?
It's a theme. Speed Racer, because he's a fast racer. Spritle, because he's small.
And let me guess, Rex, because he becomes Racer X.
Well, no, actually.
Well, then why?
Well, what did he get into?
He got into a car. Wreck. Oh, God damn it! This movie's so stupid!
Times are tough for Speed. Not even Shaft can lift his spirits. Seriously, what is Richard Roundtree doing in this movie? But help comes in the most complicated of ways when not Rex arrives with Inspector Detector to say that there might be a way to expose royalty, thanks to that guy X-Save from Piranha Death. But it would mean having to take part in an unsanctioned race against Pop's wishes. And here, an hour into the movie, you get to finally see the Mach 5 race. What are you talking about? Speed was already in the Mach 5. No, that was the Mach 6. Granted, it's very easy to miss that detail considering how frantic the racing scenes are shot, but if you freeze the frame, you can clearly see that it's the Mach 6. In fact, the Mach 5 was mentioned only in passing before, and you only saw it 2 times. Actually, the more I think about it, the more I realize that the film kind of downplays the notion of the Mach 5. It's the most iconic thing about Speed Racer, and yet the movie kind of treats it like it's nothing, really. I mean, imagine if Knight Rider was like this. Damn it, Garth is about to get away in Goliath. If only I had an awesome, fast, nearly indestructible car. Michael, I'm a sentient car that's equipped with a turbo boost. Not now, kid. I need to look for a ride and the nearest Uber driver is 10 miles away. I hate you, Michael. The race starts and nearly everyone is playing dirty, having been bribed by not Michael Gambon here. And you know these racers are greedy because they literally have dollar signs in their eyes. Just stupid. They managed to finish the first leg of the race, but Speed is starting to suspect that not Rex is Rex.
Maybe I'm crazy, but Racer X first showed up 2 years after Rex's death.
But Speed, we buried Rex.
A body was buried. Remember, it had already been badly burned in the crash. Even if it was Rex, no one could have recognized him.
You mean to say the guy who mysteriously showed up right after your brother's death and keeps his face hidden all the time is your brother? Next you'll be telling me that guy who keeps showing up with pictures of Spider-Man is Spider-Man! Come on, that shit was even lame at the time!
Somehow the quick save was disconnected. Inspector Detector suspected foul play.
Inspector Detector suspected foul play, but Inspector Detector suspected erroneously. Ah! But Pops and family find out about the race and they have an overdramatic argument. But thank God ninjas attack. Wait, ninjas?
Oh my God, was that a ninja?
More like a nanja. Terrible what passes for a ninja these days.
Tell me about it. I see you creeping. Unfortunately, one of the ninjas manages to poison what's-his-name, so they pull the old switcheroo with Trixie for the last leg of the race, and manage to capture all the conspirators who have been bribing the racers.
What's he doing here? Stowaway. We want you what to do with him.
Do what he'd do. Break his legs and let him walk back.
You okay? Yeah, I just wasn't expecting a line that badass in a movie that has this line.
Cool beans.
Kind of diametric opposites, you know what I mean? So after they make their contractually obligated Akira reference, Speed and Racer X make sure what's-his-name emerges victorious. But things don't go according to plan.
Togokan's played us for chumps. All he wanted was our help to drive up the stock in his family business. Even if he had a foul, he had no intention of turning it over.
What?
You mean the whole race was for nothing?
No, Speed. More like this. So this whole second act is completely pointless. The Japanese racer, the company, this whole side plot, throw it out the fucking window because it has fuck all to do with the story. But then again, what does at this point? At his wit's end, Speed finally confronts Racer X over his identity, and he reveals himself to be Matthew Fox. Wait, he's not Rex Racer? That's not how the anime went.
No, he's Rex Racer.
Son of a bitch!
Yeah, you find out at the end of the movie that Racer X really is Rex, but he just had plastic surgery to look like someone else. Which begs the question, why does he need to wear a mask in the first place? If he doesn't look like his old face, why hide it? Don't you remember the joke in Justice League?
If nothing else, I can at least learn the Flash's secret identity. I have no idea who this is.
Okay, this was just a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. At least they tried to salvage this whole situation.
So, they changed the Racer X character because they thought it'd be too hokey, but they keep the goddamn chimpanzee?
Yeah, I got nothing.
You got nothing.
Out of nowhere, what's-his-name's sister, who probably has had 5 lines at this point, maybe, grows a conscience and offers Speed her brother's invitation to the Grand Prix. I'm sure I should be paying attention to Speed and family rebuilding the Mach 6 in preparation for the race, and Royalton throwing a royal hissy fit over Speed's entry in the race, but I'm too preoccupied wondering what this guy's deal is. Is he supposed to be an announcer? A pitchman? Why is he just wiggling?
The race is on, and every racer is bribed to take Speed out. And it almost works, as Royalton's own racer manages to spearhook him and crash while doing it. While the chicanery is exposed, the Mach 6 is down. But is it out?
Of course not. Speed does a thing that does a thing.
Made a pass for the start of the Bernoulli Converginator. If he puts the car in 5th gear, he can jumpstart the whole thing.
Yeah, he does that. Nothing can stop Speed as he rockets towards first place, crashing through every law of science known to man along the way. As much as I bag on the visuals, the film certainly knows how to build a climactic finish. You just feel spent as soon as Speed crosses the finish line.
So it's happy endings all around. As Speed wins, Royalton goes to jail, and I can finally look at something that doesn't give me a migraine. And that was Speed Racer. Can you finally see why I can't stand this movie? The visuals are beyond obnoxious. They physically hurt to look at some points. The pace is erratic, the writing is hokey, and the plot is all over the place. It's a numbing experience, like being at a rock concert for a band you hate. All you can do is just pray that it'll be over soon. But what I don't understand is why you're not with me on this. I mean, you agreed with me on most of the points.
Yeah, and I don't like the movie, but all I said was that I don't think it's terrible.
All right, what do you consider terrible?
Terrible to me is not caring, and that's something the Wachowskis don't do. You can tell that they loved Speed Racer, and they tried to keep as much of the original cartoon in the movie as they could. But, like with most of their movies, they either misunderstand what they love, or they misappropriate it. But the love is still there, from the little details included on the Mach 6 to their visual cues borrowed from anime are some things that don't come from a project bereft of personal attention and love.
But you said they didn't work and they didn't visually mesh.
That I did. Just because something is made from a place of love doesn't mean it's automatically good. But it does mean that it makes for a better film than those that come from a place of cynicism and studio mandate. It's a failure of a film, no doubt about it, but a terrible one? Nah.
Alright, I'll concede that there are some good parts in the movie. Lord knows Roger Allam is fun, and there wasn't nearly enough of him. Also, in the very, very few quiet moments when the actors can actually give a performance, they do a good job. Sarandon and Goodman are especially good as Speed's parents, even managing a few touching moments here and there. And even though I still find the visuals hard to look at, the ending race is kinda heart-pounding. I just wish the rest of the film could be this coherent. I still hate Speed Racer, but I will admit it's not without merit.
Well, at least we could get to sort of a consensus. Does that mean you're gonna let me go?
No. Who said anything about letting you go?
Right. A little optimistic on my part, I'll admit.
You are going to be here for quite the long time. your days of fucking around with me and other people at Channel Awesome? God. I have to admit, I don't quite have the plans of what I'm going to do with you, but I can assure you, we're gonna have some fun. Well, I know I am.
There you are. I've been looking all over for... Oh, no, not again.
How many times do I have to tell you? Stop kidnapping the talent! Sorry. All right, Sage, tell you what. If you don't sue us for this very illegal thing, we'll owe you one, all right? For right now, we'll get you back home on a flight courtesy of Mr. Fuck Up here! Sound good? Well, actually, I've never flown first class before. First class? I'm sure Critic would love to pay for a first class ticket, especially if it means not going to the clink, right? So, deal? Deal! Oh God, finally. Oh, I need to get back home before Gabe screws something up. Lord knows what he's up to.
Yes, Mark?
Yo, man. Been trying to raise you for the last few days. Where the hell have you been?
Long story. Can we talk about this later? I'm exhausted.
Yeah, sure, whatever. Take care.
Thank you.
Oh, wait, before I forget.
Yeah?
Happy anniversary, man.
Huh?
You started Anime Abandon April 2011-ish, so that makes this your 5-year anniversary.
Long live your Lord High Regent Sage! Long live Bennetopia!